Barry Richards, if day 2 is going to be any different.
Thank you, Ravi. Well, as you can see today, it's going to be a real belter. There was a little bit of moisture around yesterday, but that's all dried out now. And as we can see, there still is a little bit of grass, but none of the cracks have opened up at all. And that's not going to help the bowlers at all. Over here, there is a little bit of wear and tear on the follow-throughs, but that really won't impact on the game. It's a little bit too full. The Sri Lankans, they'll want to get to 400. And it'll take an extremely good effort to bowl and field to get any side out for less than 300 on this wicket.
So the first run of the morning.
Well, that's just over the bowler's, the fieldsman head, apologies. It's gone out to the boundary. It's going to be just the 2. So Murali taking the fast bowlers on. Wasn't all that short. He really didn't get into a very good position. He hit very high on the bat. You can see this one is just a bit shorter. Pretty high on the bat and, well, not really a chance.
There's a nick and he's gone, caught behind, so the ploy worked. Aravinda was trying to find a gap that he could push the ball into and a wider swinging delivery, and Mohanty has outthought the experienced Aravinda and picked up a very important wicket.
This is a terrific piece of bowling. Just got enough, just went away enough, and Mohanty really has bowled well. He deserved that. Just a little hint of a way swing, and you can see he's absolutely delighted. So Sri Lanka lose their 8th wicket, 322 for 8.
Right-handed batsman, right arm opening fast bowler, and the reason he's out there is because young Mohanty has done it again for India. So now Muralitharan decides that he's the senior partner and it's up to him to get the score up to around 400. And Prasad is on the receiving end again. Fairly pedestrian pace at the moment. He doesn't look like he's hitting the crease very hard at all, so whether he's got an injury problem, I can't really say, but it doesn't look the Venkatesh Prasad that I've seen in previous test matches. A good player in the days when not so many test matches were played by Sri Lanka. Another boundary to Muralitharan. A bit of frustration for Mohanty there. Wasn't a particularly good ball though, he gave too much room. This one stays down, beats the wicketkeeper as well, so that'll do nothing for the confidence of the Indian batsman to see on the very early part of the second day, one running straight along the ground. The ball runs straight along the ground. That'll do nothing for the psychological health of the Indian opening batsman. See, the wicketkeeper can't stop it, but we don't see Muralitharan running down the wicket, but I think that's what it was all about. That's in the air, he's dropped it. Thick edge, a very difficult chance. Jadeja there at a wide third slip, had to dive back. Had he been at a normal third slip position, it would have been straight in the pouch. Had to throw himself to his left, got a hand to it, but couldn't hang on to it. This time he gets it in the right spot, takes the outside edge, goes via the wicketkeeper's glove, and he's caught it slip. So rather a tame end to a very good innings from Muralitharan, but the spin certainly sorted him out very quickly. A good delivery from Kumble, and that's the 9th wicket to fall.
Yeah, good piece of bowling. Just got it on the right line, more on towards middle. Murali looking to push it away, and good catch by Azza in the end. It's always difficult when it comes off the wicketkeeper's gloves. But good piece of bowling by Kumble. So Sri Lanka 3-3-2 for 9.
Sanjeeva De Silva, left-handed batsman, left-handed bowler, back in the side as the 3rd pace bowler for this test match. Didn't play last weekend. He was away in Malaysia playing in the Super 8s.
He's done him. He's gone through his defence and wrapped up the Sri Lankan innings. So 4 wickets for the young man. A very, very impressive performance for one playing his first test match.
A fine delivery by Mohanty, just rewarded for the persistence, keeping the ball up to the batsman. Pushpa Kumara virtually on the half cock. The ball going right through the gate, hitting his leg stump. Very fine delivery.
Yes, that was too good for Pushpa Kumara. The one that came back into him. He had absolutely no answer to it. And Mohanty picking up his 2nd wicket of the morning. 4 in all in the match. So a very funny scorecard there for the Sri Lankans, 32 and 37 for Jayasuriya and Mahanama, but Arvinda De Silva, the outstanding contributor here, 146, and a very, very useful innings by Muralitharan down lower down in the order. 39 he made. He was dismissed this morning. And the Indian bowling, the wicket shared by the medium pacers. 1 wicket for Kumble today, and he looked impressive in that 1 over of his where he got his leg break to go. But the pick of the bowlers, 4 for 78 for someone playing his first test match. He'll be a very happy man.
Ravindra Pushpa Kumara, he too having modelled himself on the lines of Waqar Younis.
So he's on his way now for the first time to Sidhu. And the first runs for India.
That shows you how well he does when he's away from Sri Lanka. Good one, that's out. That's what he's been trying to do. Just get that one to straighten up a little bit. Didn't look as though he was trying to push it across the right-hander so much there. He just allowed the angle to work for him. Just a hint of movement from the pitch was enough to get the outside edge, and a pretty straightforward catch to Kalu. That's the 1st wicket to fall for India.
Vas, who's been looking as he would get a wicket any occasion. On that occasion, Jadeja drawn into it, had to play at it, hit the wicket and left away from the seam. Not a lot of movement, but enough to get the edge.
Good wicket it was, just straightening. Ball's just hinting to come back into the right-hander, so it drew him into playing it. Then when it pitched, it continued on through to the wicket-keeper. He was very confident yesterday, Chaminda Vas. He wanted to bowl then, but I think he was still looking forward to it this morning. Rahul Dravid, the right-handed batsman. Pushpa Kumara from the northern end. And he's away here. He's got it past point this time. It'll go all the way to the boundary. Just a bit too short and a bit too wide on that occasion. Pushpa Kumara.
Pushpa Kumara, who tends to go for a lot of runs. He really puts it all into the bowling. He bowls quite nippy, quite speedy, but tends to also bowl a bit of loose stuff. And Sidhu making full use of that one.
Tries the short ball here. And Dravid doesn't quite get the timing right. He had plenty of open space out there. Only managed the 2 runs. It's in the air. Fine leg coming around. He could be caught. Yes, he's got him. It certainly unsettled him. Chaminda Vas made good ground at fine leg. That was good bowling from Sanjeeva De Silva, following up the ball that's made him uncomfortable with the bouncer that really has brought a bad finish to his day. So the second wicket is down and Rahul Dravid is on his way.
Sanjeeva De Silva, we said, can be quick on that occasion, digging it in, rushing on Rahul Dravid, trying to take it, couldn't get the full bat on it. Very high on the bat, and a good catch, well watched by Chaminda Vas.
Good bowling from Sanjeeva De Silva. Didn't give Dravid time to get his breath back before he bounced him, hurried him with the little bit of extra pace that he's got from his slinging action. That's a very good catch from Chaminda Vas, and you think he enjoyed that. So good bowling here by the Sri Lankan fast bowlers. The two left-handers have struck. Sachin Tendulkar comes in with his team in a little bit of trouble. 9 for 2 wickets lost.
Pulled away by Sidhu. It's in the air. He's not got hold of it, but he'll still pick up a couple. And straight away, he smashed that off the back foot through the covers. This is why I said it could be, in one way, good for India that this man has come out to the crease that early.
This shows the difference really between class and being an average player. As soon as there's the ball slightly bad, Tendulkar very quickly onto it and hitting it for 4.
And driven this time through the covers. He's timed that well. Doesn't need to run for that. That's a boundary for the taking.
Beautifully struck by Navjot Sidhu. As soon as Chaminda Vas, that time a rather ginger delivered ball in the slot, and Navjot Sidhu just leaning into it.
And pulled away by Sidhu this time. This time he's got a little more timing on that. And he picks up the second boundary for the over. It's 26 for 2. Driven straight down the ground. This will be 4 runs.
One has to be really accurate to a player of the quality of Sachin Tendulkar. That time Sachin Tendulkar once again a little bit over-pitched, and Tendulkar quickly dispatching it past the bowler.
And played away on the offside. Again hit on the up. Upul Chandana there, the substitute fielder for Chaminda Vas. And he keeps that down and finds the gap as well. He got it right at the bottom of the bat, but he still managed to keep it down. So another boundary here for the Indian captain.
Pushpa Kumar pulling that down very short, looking to test Tendulkar with the bouncer, but Tendulkar very quickly onto it, rolling his wrists over, although he didn't really get it on the full face of the bat. Produces the 4 runs.
Shout there for a catch, but it went off the pad of Navjot Sidhu.
Anxious moments for Navjot Sidhu and for India. Crucial stage, just a couple of balls left.
Great shot. Goodness me, that is a really wonderful shot, and the timing is so good, it just races away over the boundary. Pushpakumara just straying onto the leg stump, and Tendulkar, well, he is just so strong there.
Pushpakumara bowling from wide of the crease, angling it into Tendulkar. Crisply played by Tendulkar. Absolutely perfect timing. There's no stopping it. The ball racing to the boundary.
And it's the cut. And really, really good and well timed. But again, the fielding cutting it down to just a single. And as the 50 comes up, it's 50 for 2.
Navjot Sidhu, player with a lot of concentration, has got a good record behind him.
And too short. Again, lots of room to work with. This has gone just behind square, and the fielder won't get to that one. So a very good shot from Sidhu. Just delayed his shot a little bit more this time. Hit it behind point. He realises the sweep is very square. If you let the ball go past you, just roll the wrists. Plenty of time to just get that one away behind point.
This time driven off the front foot, and he finally finds the gap. So boundary here through the offside for the Indian captain, and that boundary brings up the 50 partnership.
Straight away Tendulkar onto that delivery. Slightly over pitched and on the up, timed, not really going through with it. Full face of the bat, timing it all the way to the boundary.
He's offered the full face of the blade the moment he walked out to the crease. And there's another instant for you. Lovely follow through. Good balance, steady head. Edged and dropped at first slip by Ranatunga. Good piece of bowling here by Pushpakumara. He induced the outside edge from Tendulkar, and it did carry.
On the occasion, a genuine edge, a catch, goes down as a chance. Tendulkar in the previous one giving the full face of the bat, but on that occasion slightly the ball moving away from the wicket. Bit of outswing, slightly away from his body, and a genuine chance there. Tendulkar full face of the bat. Sri Lankans may well regret the chance.
Runs here on the onside for him. A chase here for De Silva, but the ball will beat him to the fence. So not afraid to play his shots. He's moved on to 40 with that boundary.
That delivery pitched up. Once again, the class, the time, to be able to get the placement right all the way to the fence.
Misfield here. Will they come back for the second? Yes, they do. Just think Arvinder De Silva got a bad bounce there, but he has an injured finger, which he did injure whilst batting yesterday. Got a nasty rap on his glove. And again, this is bad bowling here. The field is set on the offside, and the Indians getting runs on the onside. Another 3 runs here to Sidhu. And again, through that big gap on the onside. He's gone this time. He's foxed Navjot Sidhu here. Sidhu just could not resist the temptation of coming down the track to him. And wicketkeeper Rumesh Kaluwitana making no mistake. So after doing all the hard work, Navjot Sidhu dismissed here by Muralidharan.
Sidhu likes to take the attack to Muralidharan. On that occasion, not being able to pick the line, it spun back into him, and Kalu did the rest. So India now 81 for 3. Navjot Sidhu out for 29.
Was outsmarted here by the wily off spinner Muralidharan. Just a rush of blood. The first delivery he faced from him down the track. Nowhere near the pitch of the ball. And the ball sneaking through between bat and pad. Muralidharan, the kind of bowler who gets the ball to turn off the straight on any kind of track. He would have been delighted with this wicket. A risky shot there attempted by Sidhu because Muralidharan had a long on. But Sidhu just could not resist the temptation.
Didn't quite carry to first slip. Sanjeeva De Silva's bowled particularly well in this match so far. And unfortunately got a thick outside edge, which never really looked like carrying to slip.
Once again, indecision on the part of Sachin Tendulkar outside the off stump, with Sanjeeva De Silva angling that across his body.
It's a good line here. This is where these guys have to bowl to great players. I know that when I was playing for West Australia and we used to bowl against Greg Chappell, who's sitting beside me here, we were never allowed, the fast bowlers never allowed to even think about bowling at the stumps. The line to great players is on and just outside off stump. It's quite commonly known in Australia as the corridor of uncertainty, and that's Tendulkar's 50. Lucky 50. Just gave Azharuddin just a little too much width there, Sanjeeva De Silva. And he's paid the penalty. It's 4 more.
We'll come back to that point because that's a boundary, and the end of the over, India 98 for 3.
And he goes through the offside, just over pitching a little more than he would have liked, and Azharuddin is too good a player of spin to miss out on that.
Yes, I'm really enjoying this little battle. Ball is turning. Murali just flighting that one a little bit more, but as you can see, Azhar right to the pitch, almost let the ball go past his front foot, and that's what you've got to do when it's turning and you want to hit it through the offside. You just see the angled back here to put it into the gap, and you can't play it much better than that.
And driven straight back past him for a boundary. That's a lovely straight drive. Edged and taken. So success here for Chaminda Vas. Continuing with that probing line outside the off stump. And Mohammad Azharuddin here going for that drive, getting the outside edge, and Mahanama making no mistake.
And this is a very big blow for India, not quite getting his foot. You can see his foot locked to the crease there. Edged the ball, much the same as Mahanama himself got out. He was caught by Azharuddin. Now the compliment is returned, and Azhar's on his way.
It's 126 for 4. to the left-handed. Saurav Ganguly comes out to the middle. He replaces Mohammad Azharuddin. And this is nicely played by Tendulkar. And a long chase here for Chaminda Vas. There is no man at square leg, so a boundary here for Tendulkar. And just for a moment, Chaminda Vas thought that there was someone in the deep. Oh, that's a fine shot. That should do his confidence a world of good. His first boundary as he punches it through the offside. It's an area where he gets a lot of runs.
Very classy shot this. Really kept his eyes on it. He's got a big, heavy bat and just angled it away. And that is a good way to start off your innings. Really gave the fielders absolutely no chance. So we've got two very good timers of the ball in now. Boundary hitters. And I'm sure that Aravinda will be attacking for a while, but we might revert to that cutting off the boundaries of either of these two, or particularly Ganguly gets in. Tendulkar, of course, playing well already.
Cut. There is no third man, there is no gully. So that's 4 runs for Tendulkar. So boundary to end the over, 142 for 4.
Gets Ganguly driving, but Ganguly's good enough to find the gap between the shortish cover and mid-off. And that was a shot of rare class.
Beautifully stroked by Ganguly. Tendulkar striving to get that little bit of turn, giving a little bit more air. And Ganguly very quickly on to the pitch of it and stroking it into the gap.
No ball called by umpire B.C. Kure. Sachin Tendulkar not needing any other assistance. He heard the call early enough and very quickly onto it. Swept it away over square leg from around about off stump.
Beautifully played, very well timed. Picking up the sweep just on the half volley and posting it away into the square leg boundary.
Down the wicket this time, smashes it back past the bowler. Perhaps didn't get quite the elevation that he was looking for, but it was going too quickly for Muralitharan to get a hand to it, and maybe he was lucky he didn't.
That was brutally smacked away by Sachin Tendulkar, coming down the wicket as soon as Muralitharan gave that a little bit of air and banging it straight past Muralitharan, who really didn't have time to get his hand to it. Almost taking umpire B.C. Kure on its way.
The umpires think seriously about needing a helmet out there. Rather half-hearted appeal and hopeful appeal. Sachin Tendulkar deciding that he's not going to sit there and just allow Muralitharan just to keep bowling away around off stump. He's got a number of fielders around the bat. He's already shifted one away now by his aggressive tactics this over. It's part of the art of batting. Allow the bowlers to do what they want. It's not long before they have your wicket. So it's 161 for 4.
It's a good piece of fielding in the end. I don't think it is 4. It's only going to end up as 2. Sachin Tendulkar prepared to take Murali on. He's flicked one over the top. And for a moment, I think the Sri Lankan fielders thought there might be a catch, and we see here he's just about to step over, and he does actually keep it inside. So I'm sure the third umpire is viewing that, and it will result in only 2 runs. That was a
a bigger shout. We'll have to look at the umpire. It didn't look like it hit anything to me. Umpire BC Curry agrees. There's a lot of enthusiasm for catch it in front of the wicket. There wasn't too much behind the wicket. Closer replay will show.
It goes back well inside. No bet on that at all.
Again. Oh, it's in the air. No, just wide. Shouts of catch it. Ganguly's got a very heavy bat and he does time it well. His heart must have been in his mouth though, because that travelled in the air quite a long way.
Ganguly not being able to get on top of that one. Upul Chandan had mid on, good fielder. There was a chance for catch, not able to keep it down. Just away from him.
Too short, and that's going to be runs. It's going to be a good race between the fieldsman and the boundary. He'll probably turn for the third and do that. So Murali just showing signs of a little bit of tiredness. Just too short, even though it did turn. Plenty of time for Tendulkar to pick out his spot. That's beautifully bowled, just flighted, pitching in the rough, and Ganguly sucked into trying to make a drive of it and trying to hit it through the covers. Beautiful piece of bowling.
Okay. A bit of short of catch, but there was no edge on that one, but a bit of extra bounce off the rough.
So Tendulkar now on strike. Pushpa Kumara racing in. And he's put that away through square leg. A boundary to bring up his 13th Test match 100. His fourth against Sri Lanka. Up go the hands, so that's consecutive hundreds in 2 Test matches for Sachin Tendulkar.
Much more difficult batting conditions here this week. It's still a good batting wicket, but nowhere near as flat as it was last week. So this is Test match 100 that will give him a great deal of pleasure. He wasn't in the best of form coming into this series. Himself out of that slump emphatically, and that's the shot that brought him up. His 13th Test 100. Pushpa Kumara, as it turns out, the bowler who had him dropped earlier in the day. So insult to injury for him. Just injury to Arjuna Ranatunga, who, in dropping the catch, hurt his thumb and is currently off the field.
So 65 runs this partnership between Ganguly and Tendulkar. Tendulkar 106 for 164 deliveries. So that's a pretty good strike rate considering the situation the Indians were in. Oh, some pounce there for Pushpa Kumara. That surprised Tendulkar.
It's a loud noise there. It must have frightened somebody. It certainly got my attention because I thought he'd quite a nick on that one through to the keeper. A loud noise.
Well, that's a lovely shot by Ganguly. There is a man at deep point, but for him being there, that would have been a certain boundary. A very good shot for just 2 runs. Cut away by Ganguly. And again, a very good piece of fielding by De Silva in the deep. This was even a better piece of fielding than the one earlier in the over because he was running to the wrong side.
Quite a clever piece of fielding from Sanjeeva De Silva. Also quite athletic. For a start, he was quite fast around the boundary. It's a good shot from Ganguly. Puts it right in the middle of the bat. It races away. De Silva fielding very square. He picks it up and then realises he's going to step over the boundary. Flicks it away as he takes the step over the boundary. Keeps the ball inside. Saves his teammate 2 extra runs, which is pretty good.
Batting.
Well, a good long look from BC Kure there, the umpire. Ball pitching outside off stump. Have a look and see whether you think that the ball would have hit the stumps.
A big shot. We'll have to look at the umpire. No, he's not interested. So at the end of the over, 203 for 4. And that's a great shot. No need to run for that one. Really is beautifully timed. Murali just throwing it up a little bit too far. Sachin Tendulkar with a century behind his name. Just got inside it, guarded it through the gap. Just quite beautifully timed.
Bit of extra air there by Murali. And Tendulkar in the full face of the bat, right through, flowing through. And picking the gap well. Pushpa Kumara at mid-off, very tired after bowling quite a hard spell.
Well, Ganguly decides to get things moving. 1 bounce over the boundary for 4. Jayasuriya has not received too much harsh treatment in the last couple of weeks, but Ganguly saw this one out of the hand, decided he liked it. Straight down the ground.
So Ganguly freeing himself of the shackles as Jayasuriya, who's been bowling a tidy spell, gives that little bit of air coming down the wicket and heaving it over the bowler's head, taking the aerial route.
Cardiff University cricket team on tour here. Full toss. Ganguly, even though thinking about stumps in a short while, is too good a player to miss a full toss like that.
Yes, Ganguly making use of the juicy full toss by Sanath Jayasuriya. Sanath Jayasuriya too trying to draw Ganguly into a attacking shot, but that time going a little too forward, and Ganguly making no mistake, just stroking it into that vacant region.
Thick outside edge takes the score to 226 for 4.
Once again, a very thick outside edge. End of the over, India 226 for 4.
Well, that brings to end the second day's play with India at 226 for 4 in reply to Sri Lanka's 332. Sachin Tendulkar managed to bring up his 13th Test century today. Congratulations from Muralitharan. He's obviously enjoyed his cricket out there as well. Always got a big smile on his face. So this has been a co-production between Well Patel and Rupa Vahini going through Doordarshan. So with the situation here at the Sinhalese Sports Club, India 226 for 4. Tendulkar 117 not out. Ganguly 47 not out in reply to Sri Lanka's 332 in the first innings. That's the end of the second day. Please join us for day 3 of the Janashakti Life Insurance Test match, 10:25 local time.